And the goal was starting from 1st of January 2025 that my message was going to be clear and hopefully global, that the UAE is the future, not only to have wealth generation, but also wealth preservation. Whether it's related to investing in fixed assets, money markets, getting your business to grow, using the UAE as a hub. There is no better place to be. It went viral. Welcome, what is it? Habibi, come to Dubai. Literally. I have been blessed in the sense that I have never really had to go into like a marketing scheme or anything like that. My business grew over 7 Emirates, alhamdulillah. A lot of negativity about UAE and it being fake and this and that. Look, if you're coming here and you're looking for that, you're going to get that. Okay? At the end of the day,
I love what you said. Yes.
You get what you're looking for.
Yes.
I believe that we are in a day and age where startups are the future. If you're going to look at companies that are, I'm not going to look at, what's on stock markets today, but if we're going to look at the number of IPOs that have happened over the last 5 years, and you look at the age of those companies, startups are reaching their valuations 20, 30, 100x, 500x, absolute crazy numbers in a very short time. So now I'm actually doing my pre-PhD studies. So I'm doing the executive master's it's an executive diploma. I've already completed my master's in law, but that is bridging me into my PhD. There's many things in my life that are non-negotiable. So it can be a very, very lonely path, but at the end of the day, I get that satisfaction and gratification from, being around like-minded people who understand my path. Our ecosystem is here to support your business growth, whether you are just coming out on your own as a freelancer, whether you're here as, part of a multinational group. I will mention our website and my Instagram where you can.
Hi everyone, and I'm super excited. I am over the moon. I have a very special guest with me today. Today we'll be joined by Nadia Al Ameri, and she is the founder for ACCU Group of the UAE Consultancy. And she is a lot of amazing things. She is from the international tax, finance, and legal consulting. And I want Nadia herself to share her phenomenal journey and how it all started.
Thank you so much. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
First of all, thank you for having me. Just to give you a quick, brief background, I started out actually in finance and economics, moved into private banking, completed my law degree and then my master's, and then specialized in international taxation law. So from that, coming under the corporate background, I was able to bring together wealth under one umbrella. So I like to talk about wealth in general. So wealth generation and wealth preservation. Now, under that comes many things. One major thing, especially here in the UAE and coming from, the Federal Tax Authority, I wanted to make sure that I am filling a gap in the market, representing my country and the laws that it has implemented in the best way possible. So this became my niche. So I've bridged together business incorporation, business continuity, business consulting with all of the legal side and finance side, as well as, bringing in the business continuity and the wealth preservation once your business is starting to make that thing. So while it's a very small niche when we talk about tax, but tax when it comes, to wealth in general is a very key role. We're here to create legacies. We're not here to just make a quick buck and leave Dubai again.
Absolutely.
No, I really focus on clients that are based in multinational domiciles. I like to make sure that we're looking after small and large businesses and corporations. So I have been doing this now for 6 years, and I just decided that, it's been long enough that this is being kept a secret. I'm not sharing this knowledge anywhere.
Yes.
We have websites, we have all this other information, but to this day and age, nobody is here to sit and Google what's consultancy in the UAE.
Right.
So I'm here with you today, especially to get the voice out, to get the message out that, the UAE literally is the best place to be for business, for that generational wealth growth, whether it's related to investing in fixed assets, money markets, getting your business to grow, using the UAE as a hub. There is no better place to be. That it went viral. Welcome, what is it? Habibi, come to Dubai. Literally, Habibi, come to Dubai. And I'm a numbers girl as well as a legal girl. Numbers don't lie. And the statistics are just very clear. UAE is the place to be, whether it comes to taxation, whether it comes to opening a bank account, whether it comes to opening a license. Everything is done same day. We have a smart government. Everything is electronic.
Yes.
And we're here to support business growth in every industry.
What is so inspiring is that because everything is about the wealth preservation,
100%.
And how to multiply that effect. And the most important, how did you come about to integrate these three different dynamics under one umbrella?
Okay, so look, I come from a family business where we had, a few different industries in one, construction, real estate, property maintenance, these type of things. So I always had that exposure of seeing, my father, God rest his soul, having that drive. I saw what it was like to be at home. My mother was like a house homemaker, correct? And I realized like this is my path. And then once I got into the business side and actually working and seeing this industry and dealing with all of these ultra high net worth individuals, I thought this isn't enough.
Right.
The numbers side and the trading side and the advisory side on the wealth growth was not enough. For me, the contracts, the terms and conditions, all of these type of things, that is where I really felt my strength was.
Beautiful.
And then moving from private to government and then seeing the legislative side, I thought, no, this is for me. Some people think law is boring, reading books and books and books and getting into, text. Mind you, I'm a numbers girl. I'm a very big numbers girl. But the legislation and how you can articulate small different changes in language and the use of words can make such a big difference. This is something that was so, how can I say?
Profound.
Yeah, it was profound, and I just really wanted to pursue that. So that's why I thought I will not stop. And it came at a really good time. Now, I joined the Federal Tax Authority before taxes were actually implemented in the UAE. So I had the background of the government side as well as taxpayers and the public who needed this support. So I found myself that I was bridging gaps where I'm actually here with a background of, the business side as well as, dealing with growing the wealth of people and realizing that tax implications around the world are a big deal. And then I have the legislative side. Why don't I bring all three together? I'm representing, my country, about new laws that have been implemented here. What better message to be able to deliver, than in my language, which is finance and legal. And, I come from a background where maybe, social media and these type of things was a bit taboo. But after doing this for 6 years, I thought I do not want to keep it just pure business. There has to be, from myself to the public, a message that needs to be delivered. I want to continue to give people this free support. I want to give, UAE the best possible image when it comes to getting your business here, feeling comfortable with the laws that supports business growth, that supports wealth growth, and especially wealth preservation. So building that legacy, for generations to come through your business, through the wealth that is generated, that is a big key role of what I want to do.
And to be very honest, so many people have zero knowledge on the way to accumulate their wealth and to trust their funds, their well-earned, hard-earned finances with someone so trusted, someone who has the background, the technical expertise. It's something like very rare to find that one point of contact who has the best of both the worlds, the government side and the private sector, and you bringing them this beautiful facilitation.
Yeah. I have been blessed in the sense that I've never really had to go into like a marketing scheme or anything like that. My business grew over 7 Emirates, alhamdulillah. And then the related businesses that I opened were all to be supportive to the core business. So whether it comes to company incorporation and setup, free zone mainland, I can tell you the details inside and out about over 30 free zones in the UAE. Customs law and GCC customs law, not only the UAE. Further to that comes the other consulting, which is business consulting, finance consulting, tax planning, tax consulting, tax agency. Further to that, we have a laboratory that does all the testing for all the products. UAE is a big importation hub. We do everything related to your imports inside and out. I want to support every type of business that works with us. I consider our business or our clients to even be partners. We very rarely have clients that start with us and stop.
Right.
It's long-term relationships and it's expansion and growth together. So one key thing for me was that most of the consultants that came to the UAE when tax implementation happened were foreign.
Mm-hmm.
They come with certain mindsets and certain opinions that is, and not just opinions, they come with these advisory ways that is not fit for the UAE. Business is very different here. We faced a lot of challenges with the change of mentality here, especially for local owners and whatnot. So getting someone to trust a foreigner is not easy. I'm not the type of company who's going to give you some advice, make a few bucks, and leave. I'm here for the long term. I'm a citizen. I'm here. I'm going to be buried here. So representing my country in the best possible way is actually something I'm very proud of.
Yes.
So, alhamdulillah, very blessed to have had this opportunity. Resilience and perseverance is definitely required. Making sure that your network is something that fits your long-term path, and I mean both personally and professionally. Entrepreneurship, I say this all the time, can be very lonely. Not many people understand what sacrifices. I literally have probably forgotten to bed at 2:30 a.m. this morning and up by 7 to start the day. But you make these sacrifices because you want to.
Yes.
So the commitment is there, both to clients, past, future, and current. And the reason why I want to get myself directly in front of the screen and getting this message across is because it's something personal to me, and I really want to make the UAE represented in the best possible way for all types of business, from startups to established corporations and further.
Yes, and you know what? You have the beautiful, most perfect fusion of bringing together that approach and that trusting platform where and you're not just restricting to the higher platforms, but even startups, and so
100%.
And having that precious motive to because you're here for long term. And you're
I have nowhere else to go.
Exactly, because this
Yes.
is something which is, I think, a problem in UAE, because some
Definitely.
people are just here for a short time, and but this is something that is truly unique that you are giving.
100%. And you said something, and why I'm focusing on startups. I believe that we are in a day and age where startups are the future. If you're going to look at companies that are, I'm not going to look at, what's on stock markets today, but if we're going to look at the number of IPOs that have happened over the last 5 years, and you look at the age of those companies, startups are reaching their valuations 20, 30, 100x, 500x, absolute crazy numbers in a very short time. And the UAE is a place that is supporting these things, whether it's fintech, whether it's things related to general AI, data storage, so whether it's data storage, the laws related to these type of things, banking, finance, fintech is there. The laws that are being created to support these industries, the facilities that are being created to support these industries, the types of visas, everything you can imagine. I myself am an angel investor and have been angel investing since 2016. I've been through a startup myself and failed more than once. I technically was a startup just 5-6 years ago. Supporting that industry is a very, very key role for me. And I believe that you cannot only support these established corporations. Sometimes they're set in their ways. Working with startups from the beginning, you actually help form their business.
Wow.
So,
and that's more effort from your side, but your trust and then because you're watching the indicators in the market and you're a true version of seeing them grow. It's and I truly believe that UAE has become a major game changer when it comes to innovation, 100%. When it comes to attracting foreign investors, having their entire faith belief in just making this their home ground, you know.
And this is something that is very important, and this is why I want to deliver the message. You know, a lot of negativity about UAE and it being fake and this and that. Look, if you're coming here and you're looking for that, you're going to get that. Okay, at the end of the day,
I love what you said. Yes,
you get what you're looking for.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a country where you can get your business license in a day, click of a finger, get your UAE pass, and every other government application is available to you just through your phone. You can get your bank account open, KYC, everything all done within the same day. Your business license set up. So not only are we supporting the businesses to come and move and set up here, it's the individuals, the lifestyle that's in. So for example, today, a family moves over, husband and wife, few kids. Any curriculum that you want your children to be in is available in the UAE.
Unbelievable.
You want your children to be studying extracurricular activities, it's available. Safe communities, geographical locations in the UAE, you have city apartments, you have suburbia, you have public transport that's readily available. Everything is here to support
the entire infrastructure, facilitating all the dynamics of the population.
I couldn't have said it better. You're facilitating everything that someone could need to grow their business and to grow that legacy. I'm not even going to touch on the laws that support to manage your wealth. Forget about that. Taxation is literally, corporate tax is just being implemented and we're still in single figure digits. 9% corporate tax is nothing. Now, there's still ways to pay zero tax in the UAE. We're looking at free zones, we're looking at other exemptions that are still around. You know, everyone can have a look at whatever their business industry and look at what impact assessment can be done there. But not only about taxation, it's about the generational legacy, it's about the safety, the access to education, the general safety, the fa'aliyat, which is like the festivities and things that are happening here. We support all religions and nationalities.
Holistically, the entire framework.
You can go from Christmas to Diwali to Ramadan to Eid,
Easter, yeah,
everything.
Chinese
And you
know,
100%. And I was just at the Louvre Museum the other day, and looking to my right, I see a church, a mosque, and a synagogue. Literally, what can you talk about more than harmony than this?
And so much tolerance and so much, it's like a melting pot living in such a beautiful harmony.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, it's unbelievable to many eyes, and it is proving to be possible. So I wanted to touch on something interesting. Can you explain, like, this is a very enticing line, is wealth accumulation, right? So if someone wants to have a consultancy with your company and want to know, like, in what paradigm is this wealth accumulation going to be facilitated from your side?
Okay, good question. Now, rather than calling it accumulation, we'll talk about generation and preservation. So obviously, every individual may have certain goals. Smaller companies, startups, everyone has a different goal. Maybe for startups, we look really at that exit plan, that growing that company valuation to get that maximum cash out on, you know, a partial or complete exit, looking at IPOs. These paths have a very different goal.
Right.
Okay, so we look at everybody or every entity's situation very differently. Someone who's coming over here as, maybe a freelancer and this type of thing, they want to maybe look at, getting as much income as now, saving as much as possible, trying to grow maybe passive incomes and whatnot. They don't really have the stress of corporate taxes or valuations of a big company.
Yes.
Now come to corporate tax, especially companies that are having multi-domicile compliance issues or challenges. We need to look at, making sure that they are having minimal tax exposure in the UAE, trying to make sure that globally they're paying minimum taxes and these type of things.
Exactly.
And then when we talk about growth in general, at the end of the day, there is no one in business or even an individual who does not want to have a higher turnover or income.
Absolutely.
That is the core role for each and every single entity or establishment. But that is something that is always going to be tailor-made depending on what the individual goals are, timelines, risk appetites, and also like legalities around what collaborations can be done, what is available in the UAE and outside the UAE. And we have a network, we have partnerships, strategic partnerships in over 5 countries. So there's always going to be tailor-made
to
consultancy, advisory, these type of things for what your needs are.
Amazing. And with the beautiful benefit of having you on board also is you have law as your background, and that is just so phenomenal because everything is at the tips of your behind knowledge. It's like like literally you being even part of the government process of knowing which law came into, and it's like literally creating and having your input in the entire
process. So now I'm actually doing my pre-PhD studies. So I'm doing the executive masters that lead, or it's an executive diploma. I've already completed my master's in law, but that is bridging me into my PhD. And specifically what I want to cover in this is implementing new laws in a country. So it's something that you may see as important or not important or very boring, but when I actually saw the transition and how you have to change a mentality, it could take generations to change mentalities, but we're very blessed that our leaders have a way with
adapting.
People. Yes, adapting, doing things in a transitional way and in a staggered way, implementing more and more things, more updates coming. I actually was able to sit back and look and say, someone who was using maybe carbon copy papers a few months ago for invoices, within 5 years, 6 years, is about to start e-invoicing. And we're talking, I'm even talking about my own family, family businesses who barely had any record keeping or anything like that. Things were built on trust. But seeing that transformation, seeing that growth, seeing the change in mentality, it's something phenomenal. And this is something that, it comes from having the psychology of trust in your government, in your leadership, having faith and having, that support from the whole government, from your leadership, from, local government, federal, all of that. It's something that until today, I still pinch myself like, wow, 2018 was literally yesterday. Looking at where we are today and the amount of laws and the amount of changes and the speed of everything that happened, and then, that continuity of the change, it's something that has really intrigued me, and I think it's something for the records for the
Absolutely.
UAE.
It's a phenomenal revolution.
Yeah,
and
that's
what
the
I love
revolution.
what you said was it takes generations for such a transition to occur, which has happened in years, literally. Yes,
just a few years. And well, some people are still scared of taxes, and some people still have, it's normal. The tax man is always a scary thought, but the FTA has been, very supportive to the community, very easily accessible. There's, so many agents and so many different roadshows. So much support was given, so much information is there, and I hope to bridge that gap in both languages, English and Arabic. We have a team, obviously, with 8 nationalities we speak. 8 languages we speak, multiple nationalities. So bridging that gap and removing that fear factor about taxation, not only about how much we're going to pay, but also are we doing something wrong, is very key, man. Very key.
Yes.
A very important message that I want to deliver.
I know, because I love what you said. Being the tax always has like this perception of people being fearful.
Yes.
But this is where the trust comes in. When you trust the country, the government,
yep.
and
Faith,
and the transparency that goes into it's something like literally I'm seeing within. I mean, me living here for around 17 years, it's like. People are thinking of keeping their children here, keeping a legacy here, and the businesses that their children can take care of. So they're actually now looking at this beautiful country as their home, and it's the trust that has been given, the security. And you're right, like there's no other place I can think of at this time where divergent religions, curriculums, education, activities,
nationalities, everything,
and we owe it to the country. Like it's just amazing. So Nadia, like, what is your like we've entered 2025. So do you have like another plan? I mean, I know like your plan and your entire platform is so amazing. But like, what is it that you?
I decided to make a platform, and the goal was starting from 1st of January 2025 that my message was going to be clear and hopefully global, that the UAE is the future, not only to have wealth generation but also wealth preservation, whether it comes to small companies, multinational corporations, families, building that legacy for a business or for personal, or family offices, whatever it may be. The UAE has provided a foundation, has provided facilities, a legal environment, a physical environment. There is nothing more that you could ask for. So this is my message. I'm here to, deliver a message that UAE is the place to be, and what better way to deliver it than through my platform?
Yes, absolutely. And so if so you do provide with the business consultation for tax and for wealth. Do you suggest that your clients with multiple streams of income, or
100%? And this is again looking at long-term investment. Sorry, the term of the investment, risk appetite, business goals. Whether it's looking at earning passive incomes, multi-asset type of incomes. Everyone has a different goal, and everyone has a different budget. Everyone has a different path. So we customize things for everyone. But the core of this, we do legal advisory, we do advocacy, we do litigation, we do customs consulting, tax consulting, finance, facilitations. So we're here to be a one-stop shop for your business from A to Z.
Wow. I can find you as my answer to all my wishes.
And health is so important, mental and physical health. This is something I really want to touch on. So it's not only going to be business advisory. It's also being real, Not every day is going to be easy. So, going through those challenges, having those tough days, let's talk about, the environments we're in, the networks that we have around us to support these growths. So not only personally, but professionally.
Yes. I mean, that is so crucial. I am really excited to talk about this new thing, which you are also a part of. Tell me about the cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Because it's going to be like a big revolution if you find, the moderation and the legality of this also being worked on in the UAE.
And this is something very, very personal to me. I was probably one of the early adapters in crypto trading, and a lot of people thought it was a fad or something like this. It's like gambling. You might put your money in here. Tomorrow it could be worth 50% less, 50% more. Who knows? Now, a lot of crypto billionaires and whatnot have bad reputations and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we are talking about currency. Now, currencies are accepted all over the world. The more that you can purchase with the currency, the more countries that adapt these and allow for these currencies to be used, the more this is going to grow. Now, I don't want to get into the technology side. I don't want to get into blockchain and how it's much more secure. We can talk about centralized and decentralized exchange. It's a whole other. I'll give you a series of podcasts. Yes. No issues there.
So we have a brain here, and we have to request for another podcast for Nadia.
Sure. But there's a project that you can probably see in my profile. Something very dear to me, and I'm really helping or trying to lobby on certain legalities and getting those legislations clear. We don't want too much gray area, because once you're investing so much into setting up an exchange and getting those exchanges established and incorporated in the UAE and getting that much growth, we need the market to be just a little bit more regulated, and that is something I'm pursuing in a big way. But again, until things are official, until we get those cabinet decisions out, until all of these things happen, let's not touch on that too much. But there's going to be a very big investment potential coming up very soon. Something that's going to be established in the UAE, incorporated in the UAE by masters that are based in the UAE, and it's something that's probably going to be one of my biggest honors and achievements to be a part of, whether it becomes profitable or not.
Absolutely. I mean, what more can an investor ask for if his cryptocurrency finances can be maybe used to buy property or
something that we facilitate. We deal directly with developers. Not only that, like using those currencies and trading with those currencies and using leverage on those currencies, it is so exciting. Rather than purchasing your property on a 12-month payment plan, we may be able to get that paid off for you in 6 months, half of the time. Why? Because you have those professional advisors there, you have those facilitators there, managing the upside and all of those things, getting the facilitation through the developer. It's as I said, I've been able to create an ecosystem that is not one, we're generating the wealth, but we're preserving it. We're buying fixed assets. We're buying, liquid assets. Where we're looking at paying minimal taxes, doing things the most compliant way, risk management, advisory on growing other passive incomes from the existing income and turnover that your business is creating. So it's just like a well-oiled machine. It keeps going and going and going.
Beautiful. So let me just ask you this one scenario. If I'm a client and who has 2-3 different business portfolios, who comes to you to manage their assets and finances, like if you can just briefly go through the steps, or what are the prerequisites, or what is it that, and how can you, help them preserve those assets?
Okay. Just to keep that, we don't do asset management. Asset management is a very different field, but what we do is we do structuring, we do advisory. We actually go through a big assessment process of understanding what your needs are. To be able to direct you the right way, the key part is understanding what your client requires. And sometimes that whole research process with you helps you even define what you want. So once I master that and get that clear and down pat with you, that is when we can, look at other structures. Now, you said you may have multiple businesses. Are they in different industries? How are they owned at the moment? Is it, things that are part of family business? Do you want to separate that wealth? Do we want to, especially from a taxation perspective, do we want to leverage, tax revenues? Do we want to leverage tax exemptions? Do we want to keep companies separate? Do we want to homogenize them into big groups? It's all about, again, what you require and what your ultimate goals are. But for example, you may be having multiple businesses. That's you and your husband, but one business may be shared with a sibling of yours. But maybe that sibling is going to get married. Maybe they're going to have other children. Maybe they're creating their own segment as well.
The family tree is separated.
Exactly, and that's why I say you always have to look at the specific requirement for that entity over that person. And that's not to say that family groups don't merge and grow together. But when we're looking at ultimate ownerships, ultimate beneficiaries, all of these type of things, we really do customize everything every single time, and we re-review and check what has changed and what needs to be adjusted then.
And it's a tailor-made, bespoke, customized solution providing for each individual client.
We do boutique, bespoke advise me in
yes.
flirtation.
Because usually, I think I have come across my friends who did have this complaint where the facilitator didn't have much. All they knew was they were doing a copy paste for everyone,
Yep.
and they weren't able to advise them that look, maybe, or suggest them, which is where you do, right?
We do.
If they're doing something not aligned, you will correct it.
100%. And that's why I told you the initial assessment and the initial drafting of the scope of work. I could copy paste the scope of work for everyone the same.
Easy
But-
for you.
Yes, but once you understand that business's actual requirements, that is when you know what you need to do. And that's when you have clear goals. That's when you have clear service level agreements, clear timelines. And that's when, you know, your client is actually being satisfied and knowing that they are achieving what they actually came to you for.
Oh my God, that is something exactly I think everyone needs. You're going to be one busy person, I can see.
I'm
foresee
already
you in
busy.
the future. Your itinerary is all booked up. And you're also engaged in, like you just mentioned before the podcast, like, you know, you're going to Egypt and you're going to other, like, for work and
Yep.
everything. So you are absolutely comparing economies from that
100%.
angle, from Saudi.
So the partnerships are based in Australia, UK, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and in the UAE. Hopefully more and more countries very soon. And I look forward to hopefully being international. So there's no reason that we cannot have strategic partnerships all over the world. At the end of the day, the UAE is a hub. We are a hub geographically. We are a hub when you're talking about multiple industries, whether it's, you know, importation and export, whether you're talking about being a base for, you know, providing services around the world. We connect, you know, Africa to Europe, to Asia, to your Russias. There's no reason why we cannot continue expanding our business internationally.
Yes, absolutely. I think you just need to always, Nadia, step back, reset, because you know,
100%. Told you, mental health.
I don't know how you're doing it, girl. I mean, how are you managing with your peace and serenity and everything being in alignment? It is one hell of an impossible job.
It didn't come overnight. I went through, you know, I'm not here to talk about challenges or anything like that. Everyone goes through challenges, you know, I have a lot of faith. Alhamdulillah, I could not be where I am today with obviously not being raised with, you know, that discipline with my faith and knowing that I need to turn to God. There's, you know, I cannot do anything without, you know, His Almighty. But I really learned how to take stress in a different way and how to relieve my stress in a different way. I get satisfaction from what I do. I don't take things personally anymore. I spend a lot of time alone about to really clear my thoughts. I manage my inner voice. You know, that inner voice and the way you speak to yourself is very important. I try to really give back and help others in very basic interactions. It could be while I'm getting gas in the morning. It could be while I'm getting my coffee. It could be with someone who is more executive than me and has so much more experience, but I feel like something that I have been through, I can just help. You know, breath work and all of these other things, meditate. I'm really into my fitness, as we were discussing.
Yes. It was unbelievable. Like, for you taking so many steps is just
I am my biggest investment. I invest in a lot of different types of classes, a lot of fitness classes. I am part of a lot of social networking groups. You know, if I am not at my peak, nothing will be successful. Nothing will be fruitful. You know, a lot of people talk about self-love. A lot of people talk about, you know, how can I say,
yes.
mental health and all these type of things. It's really important. You know, if I can't look after me, I can't look after anyone else in my life. And I have a lot of responsibilities. I've mastered delegation, but at the core of it, I have to look after me first. No one is going to look after me.
Yes, it is just a non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. There's many things in my life that are non-negotiable. So it can be a very, very lonely path, but at the end of the day, I get that satisfaction and gratification from, you know, being around like-minded people who understand my path. And I have been blessed. I've had a lot of unfortunate, you know, circumstances, but alhamdulillah, I have been able to, you know, persevere. Resilience is a big thing. And I really think it's a mindset thing as well. So you may have some setbacks, but what comes after that is just unbelievable.
Being on the other side.
On the other side, literally. Yeah.
And I just think there's so much radiance, exuberating from you, because what I love about how you're always advocating to be of service.
Yeah.
At the same time, because it's so natural for people to be so
Take.
self-absorbed, you know.
Yeah.
And the energies can be felt, and you have so much
Thank you.
care for, like, how you opt to go for the startups, and because your mission is also to
See other success. I'm not here to do things short term, as I told you from the beginning. My whole goal is to be with you long term. Your success is ultimately my success. Everyone should eat. Everyone gets a piece of the cake. Why not? We're here to generate wealth and to preserve wealth.
Yes. I can see a beautiful personification of all these words in Nadia herself. I think we need to have another podcast very soon.
We will. We'll wait for their feedback on certain topics that you want to discuss, and let's go from there.
And she's here to shine, and she's a warrior, and she's
Thank you.
a lot of technical, she's an expert, but to be honest, I think no one can really recognize, looking at this fragile young girl doing so many.
There is still a shy little girl inside of me, trust me. As much as, I'm very much an introvert, but, when it comes to what I do professionally, there's no holding back.
So you mean business, right? Like when you're in your corporate world.
There's no gray area with me. It's black and white. I have a goal. My clients have a goal, and we're here to achieve it together.
Oh yes, and you are achieving it phenomenally.
Alhamdulillah.
Nadia, is there one last message that you want to share with the listeners? People who are there, who want to seek out to you, how can they approach you, and what is it that they should take this year by and make a difference? Whatever they're thinking, they're not coming out of their heads.
Yeah. First of all, 2025 is the year of growth. We look at economic cycles and history and all of these things. This year is going to be unstoppable. Take risks. I'm not saying have no fear. There should always be some risk management and some, calculated risks. Habibi, come to Dubai. That's all I can say.
And if you are too undecided to take the risk, she is here to manage your risk consulting, advisory team. So you don't even need to think of what risk, what decision, because you've got someone who has, the entire background knowledge to help us all thrive.
Our ecosystem is here to support your business growth, whether you are just coming out on your own as a freelancer, whether you're here as, part of a multinational group. I will mention our website and my Instagram, where you can have a look at some more of the content that we post. Can you mention the website
for us here as well?
Yep, it's www.accutaxme.ae. This is the main website, and from that you will see the segments of what services we offer. And then if you have a look at my Instagram directly, you will see a little bit more of the actual day-to-day, a bit more realness of what business is like in the UAE. I'm not here to post about lifestyle. I'm a humble person. I'm not here to show the Dubai flashy life. Dubai isn't easy. You need to come. You need to work hard. It's a high competition environment, and you will only see the best of the best talent. And we look forward to receiving your inquiries and working together.
And one last question just came to me. Sure. If someone from the outside is new coming to the UAE, so you provide them with that.
We will work with you on even the feasibility studies of even coming to the UAE.
Beautiful.
So before you even reach the UAE, most of our clients, honestly, we barely see them because it's being done virtually so much. So whether it comes to feasibility studies, looking at possible like the transition and the move to the UAE, whether it's talking about your physical move, moving the business itself, moving families, moving offices. We will do everything from, the studies prior to the business, giving you options on how to set up and where to set up and what is the best strategy. And then looking at, moving you over physically, advising on, the best possible structure on how this business will go. And then hopefully we can join you to get you on board with our network and, your business growth could happen from there.
Beautiful. I'm so happy I asked that. So everyone, please connect, and I think you have many questions, so you can always put it there, and then we'll be able to, Nadia will be able to take up time, and we can always sit for another session and a podcast. But thank you so much, and Nadia, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was so informational. It was so inspiring for the listeners, and couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to another discussion. I don't even want to call this a podcast. This has been just, a good conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, a cup of tea with you.
Yes.
And if there's anything specific you want to have a talk about, let's keep these discussions real, unscripted, and waiting to hear from you all.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.